Hey guys, welcome back. BDC Care here. We're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is for the week of May 27th, 2021. The current character challenge is Rebirth Jessica Cruz. That's a 1 week repeat. And the required characters are Flash, Sinestro, and Superman, who are bronze, and gold, respectively. Her passive is Lantern's Might, which is each Green Lantern on her team extends her special attack 2 by 1 hit and adds combat effects. Her combo ender has a chance for Kilowog to put the opponent in stasis with his ring. She's got 1,325 attack and the same 1,325 health. She was last available in July of 2020.
Yeah. So, goes without saying, I think it's pretty uncontroversial to say that she is an excellent basic damage dealer. She's got the higher stats that you associate with characters that were introduced late in the game's life cycle. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing that makes her a great damage dealer is a huge number of extra hits on her combo ender.
And 1 extra hit on her heavy compared to average.
That's true. It makes her a great card for gears that have a combo ender effect, such as Power Drain with Razzle Glow Scimitar, or the Lifesteal with Gauntlets of Azrael, where each combo ender hit gets the effect. Mm-hmm. So that's a good point. So the light combo ender, the typical light combo ender is each hit is 2%, 2%, 2%, and if you get the combo ender, you get 3%.
Yeah.
Heavy combo, it's 4%, 4%, 4%. So it should be 9% and 12% of her damage stat is what she does as damage.
Yeah.
Instead of getting a 3% combo ender, though, she gets 3, and then another 3, and then 4, and then another 4, mm-hmm. and then another 4, and then another 4. So instead of getting the typical 9%, she can do 28% damage.
Yeah. So when she hits her combo ender, she's dealing triple the damage of somebody with her same stat doing a combo ender.
Yeah, which is nuts.
Which is ridiculous, yeah.
And even her heavy combo is slightly better. It's only, 33% better?
Yeah, because she gets great. 4 hits of 4% of her damage instead of 3%. So this is one of the interesting examples where her light actually does significantly more damage than her heavy. If you get the combo ender.
You get the combo ender about 30% of the time.
But because there's effects on it, right? You also have the chance of stun.
Right.
So this is one of the cases where because it's faster, it almost never makes sense to use anything but her light attacks.
Right. Because even though you don't get the combo ender all the time, on the balance for the times that you do get it, it's worth it.
Yeah, sometimes it stuns, and it does a huge amount of damage. It does, almost double damage.
So I guess that's the other point. We're sort of implying it, let's say explicitly, Kilowog putting the opponent's stasis behaves just like a stun.
Yeah.
Means Cloak of Destiny is great, Necron Scythe is great, and so her basic damage part is just so overwhelmingly great that even if you don't do anything to take advantage of her passive, so if you don't put her on a team of Green Lanterns, you give up on that part of her passive.
Yeah.
That gives her more special 2 hits, which are also great, does a huge amount of damage, has damage over time effects. She's still really good.
Yeah. There's 2 ways to make her really good, and for us, most of the time, I think it's harder to find somebody who's really, really spectacular at basic damage the way that she is than it is to find somebody else who is good as a special specialist.
Yeah. So
So she's just more unique as a basic damage dealer, even though if you made her special specialist, she would still kick butt.
Right. So she's Rebirth. I mean, originally, I think she was actually Jessica Cruz Green Lantern Rebirth. So it's tempting to make her role as a basic damage dealer of a Rebirth team because they're called Rebirth. But then her passive never comes into play. Like that special 2 part. I mean, she gets the Kilowog stuff, right? But instead of just coming to play every once in a while. So a Rebirth team, this is funny because Rebirth, they're all called the same, but there's not a lot of synergy.
Yeah.
The only person who it helps to be on a Rebirth team, I think, is Wally West, which increases the likelihood that he'll dodge or evade specials. Mm-hmm. So Jessica Cruz gets the full benefit of her passive on a Green Lantern team. But, there's not a lot of great Green Lanterns. So the big question is, or the big sort of 2 questions are, is it worth it to make her weaker on a Rebirth team to make Wally West stronger? And she's not that much weaker. You're giving up special 2.
Yeah.
Or would it be better to make her stronger personally on a Green Lantern team that has a lot of weaker Green Lantern teammates? Because here's the thing. She's already powerful enough with just her basic damage.
Yeah.
Even if you don't do her special 2. And I think the answer to that has to do with whether your cards are augmented. Because so if your cards are not augmented for crit chance and crit damage, your teams in general are weaker, and your teams in general you're gonna have a little bit more trouble winning. It's not that you're gonna have trouble, but it's gonna be relatively harder.
Yeah.
So it makes sense at that point when you don't have the augmentations to make your overall team, when the characters on the team and the gears you're picking, as strong as possible. And that could be a rebirth team if they're all highly promoted. But if your cards are mostly augmented for crit chance and damage, it makes a lot more sense to spread out the best cards on different teams, as many different teams as possible, and ones that can win. And that's a Green Lantern team. So you get to stick some cheap Green Lanterns with her, super powerful.
Yeah, and still win.
Right. And it really plays into the original bonus battle 6 strategy, where you try to get there as fast as possible. Early on when you get there, it's harder to finish without putting 3 good characters in a team. And then as you get better, you split them up, and then you got 3 teams to grind bonus battle 6 for power credits.
Yeah, so the real answer is you put her on the worst team that you can consistently win with.
Yeah, she's a great character.
Or that you consistently don't need to rely on the other characters, because if you're using her right, you're going to have similar speed fights no matter what, pretty much. Yeah. So there we go. This week's multiplayer reward is Black Diamond, which becomes Heart of Darkness. And when it's fully maxed out, you get a 30% damage boost on Special 2. Any special attack applies 6% damage over time, which also drains 12% enemy power. You get a 30% power generation increase in the evolved ability, which is if opponents tags out, they receive damage equal to 20% of equipped character's damage. It was last available in November of 2020, so we've been back on the streak for coming up on half a year now. For the multiplayer rewards, we expect Sengoku Helmet, which becomes Batman Ninja Helmet, next week.
Right. And not every legendary 4.5-star gear is the best. This is one of those that's not the best, may not be the best, but it's definitely better than 3.5-star gears, and it deserve to be something like a tier above.
Yeah, it has a number of abilities, and none of the abilities are wasted, right?
Right. Yeah, damage boost and special 2 is great. Power gen boost, I think, is great too. I think League of Assassins Knives is just as good. Damage over time and tag out damage are nice bonuses, but in the world with Blackest Night Flash, we don't run damage over time teams enough. Really, it's a great card on your Special 2 specialists.
Yeah. It's more like you get bonus than anything that you're specifically planning around.
Yeah, it's a perfect complement to Tantu Totem plus Master's Death card, and this is the third gear that really sort of rounds out your specialist.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there we go. In the store, we have Suicide Squad Harley Quinn. That is for $24.99 Canadian. It was $26.99 Canadian in July of 2020, so it looks like the prices for everything right now are a little lower than the last time.
Yeah, maybe it's reflecting the exchange rate.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It does include 100,000 credits. It's included in next week's challenge. It doesn't unlock in the store, but the important part, which is our sort of challenge cycle watch, it fits with what our prediction was last week. So if you count up to Rebirth Jessica Cruz, right, what we've seen and fully confirmed, we were 10 weeks into a repeat of 10 challenges that started last year in May of 2020. If you count Suicide Squad Harley Quinn as the 11th, which is what, we're guessing it's going to be with like a greater than 90% chance just from this preview pack, then that's the 11th in a row. Again, pattern's looking good.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know exactly when we'll call it. I think part of the problem is that because it was from a time in 2020, that if the pattern goes on forever, it would be missing a huge number of characters.
Right,
so there's going to be some point, even if it does still follow a pattern, that we're not going to be able to tell anymore.
Yeah.
We might see it jump around, so it might be a fragment from another pattern at a different time, or something, or it might look random, but we're looking at this with a lot of interest right now.
Yeah.
And if it goes past the point where it's new stuff, there's a good chance that this actually is a pattern now. And what we're just seeing is like the first ever full cycle of it.
Right.
So, kind of exciting.
And the other character bundle is the Rebirth team. So it's interesting because it looks like the challenges are tied to the bundles that come in the store.
Yeah.
Because these are all in the same previous week when we had Jessica Cruz as the challenge character. Mm-hmm. So that Rebirth team also dropped in price from $26.99 to $24.99. It's Rebirth Wally West and Rebirth Green Arrow.
Yeah, and just to say, for our prediction for the next challenge character, Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn, obviously based off the preview pack, the week after we're expecting to be Dawn of Justice Superman, if the cycle is still going strong. So there we go. In our Survivor, we have the LexCorp gear set until the 2nd of June 2021 on one of our accounts. Phantom Zone is finished. Fight 62 is still broken. Last weekend's breakthrough is Raven, Superman, and the Arkham Knight. We expect Harley Quinn, Killer Croc, and Martian Manhunter this upcoming week.
Yeah. Link in the description to the Injustice subreddit thread that Devlin16 used to list all the breakthrough cycle. And current glitches. Big surprise. Nothing has changed. Every working glitch is explained as a tutorial in the playlist that you can reach by clicking the eye in the top right corner of the video. We're Android only. We can only confirm these glitches for Android.
But we have some notes for people who are using different operating systems or versions of Android based off of comments.
Right.
So stuff that you can't do that you might want to. There is no credit glitch we are willing to endorse. You can find it out there if you want. We think it's a little bit dangerous and it's just not the kind of thing that we're comfortable putting our name behind on our channel. Find it if you want.
Yeah.
Other stuff. Yeah. There is nothing for, I guess, on Season 6, Episode 9 of our P&Q and C&A&T, you can hear us talk about this at length if you really want to hear our exact rationale. Other stuff that you can't do. You can't get repeated past multiplayer season rewards. You can't get early multiplayer season rewards. You can't get through the Phantom Zone supernaturally quickly, although our video on Tuesday shows how you can get through it
in
if
less
you
than
get
12
lucky.
minutes.
Yeah, obviously not every time, but about as fast as you can get through the Phantom Zone. And the glitch to get you free energy by skipping watching the videos, can't do that anymore. Not
All
working.
right, so the challenge reset method that requires Google Play Cloud Save is working, confirmed on current Rebirth Jessica Cruz. If you have an issue with the amount of data that you're re-downloading, if you're on Android 10, check a comment from a viewer in the description that talks about a solution. And if you're on iOS, there's a comment from viewer Jonathan Yang on how to reset the challenge on an iOS device. Breakthrough glitch to play repeatedly is still working too.
Yeah. The airplay mode /refund glitch is still working. That's good for any pack with random drops that you don't need an internet connection for, and also last laugh tickets. So you need an internet connection for Phantom Zone, so you can't do it for Phantom Zone as far as we're aware. Time shifting still works in Android for unlimited Survivor play and energy recharges. As always, return your countdown clock back to normal before you finish and get back to playing as normally. It can, we think, mess up challenges and other stuff.
Yeah.
It used to mess up discount gold packs when they were around.
Yeah. All right, and I guess that's all the working and the not working glitches, and then there's our in limbo glitch, which is the promotion glitch, where it's never failed us, but the conditions haven't been here for years, so it's that one that's still on our list, not because anybody's been able to get it to work, but, you know, if those conditions ever come around, it's possible that it might. Yeah.
So there we go. And to finish up, we would love to give a huge thank you to all the wonderful folks who support us on Patreon. That is Consul, Peasant, and Edwoon, who are supporting us at the top tier Last Word, Mohammed Albshaiti at the Your Message Here tier, Shawn Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Maule, Michael DeVries, Brandon C., Irvin Ruiz, and Eddydoo, who are supporting us on the credited level, and Chris Wolff, Scarlet, Dani, Awesomegamer241, Pavu RS, Gavin, Mallott, and Isfar E at the gratitude level. Thanks so much for your support. We'll see you next time. Komoda.